Hey guys, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be looking at how to build out a mobile navigation menu using Flexbox. Now, bonus, you're getting 2 videos today. All right. So this first video here is just going to be all about styling everything using Flexbox. It's a different way to build out the navigation. You're going to see it's really, really awesome. And when that video is done, there will be a card on the side where you can click and get right away into part 2 where we're going to look at the jQuery and how to build out the whole thing. All of that out of the way, let's jump right into it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is close a few of these files that we were last using. I'm going to close my typography and my buttons. I don't need any more. Colors I'll leave open just in case. Base I still need. No, I don't need my base. Main grid I can close for now. One thing you might notice that's a bit different, there's a pre-pro 6 config file here. I can actually delete my old one. I've upgraded pre-pros to the newest version, which is 6. I'm a little bit late to the party. They upgraded it a while ago. You can see I've gone with a dark UI. The layout's a little bit different, but you know, functionality is all the same. So it's doing the same things it was doing before. So to get started with my navigation, I'm gonna make a new file, and let's do a save as. In here, I am going to jump into my layout. There it is. And we will do a nav. Nope. That was weird. Okay, so there we go. I have my nav file. That's good and ready to go. So I have a few different things I'm going to have to do in here, and one of them, I turned off my layout. Header, probably. Main nav. Okay, I can take this out of here. We want to see my main nav now. So we can save that. It should appear back. Cool. Actually, there's another thing. I put my main nav. All of my navs are in an unstyled list. So I'm going to start with that, which should go in my base file. Unstyled list. You know, the basics of any unstyled list, margin 0, padding 0, list style none. Did I not do that properly? Because unstyled list on my UL. Whoops. Header. Base, base, base. There we go. I made a little typo in there. So that looks better. And now I can close that down. In my nav. Okay, so we're going to go to my nav. Actually, we also have to go to my main before I forget this. Layout. Import layout / nav. And in here we can start working. So the first thing I'm going to do, and remember I'm using Flexbox, so I want to keep them sort of like that. So this is my main nav. And what do I want to do with my main nav? There's a few things I want to do. So let's start by giving it a background color. I'm going to give it a background of accent. I think we'll keep accent. I'm not sure, but we'll start with that. I want it to be full screen. So we're going to give it a position of absolute. And then top 0, left, or bottom 0, right 0, left 0. That should. But that's going in the header. Oh, my main header is position absolute. Oh, okay, I can fix that. Okay, there's a couple things. I put my header, I gave it a top of 1M, which is going to create this space here. Instead of on my nav here, I could give my top like a -1M. That could work. The only problem with that is I find it a little bit hacky. And it might not be super easy to remember. You know, maintainability of the site, that's kind of awkward. So I think what I'd rather do is put my top here to 0 and just give it a padding top of 1M. And that sort of fixes all of that. Now for the issue of, because this is position absolute, but it's inside my header, it's being constrained by the header there. You know, my bottom 0 stops it here. So I'm actually going to take the bottom off, and I'm going to give it a height of 100 viewport height. So that should, there we go, it's filling up the whole screen. So remember, I'm doing mobile first. This is my mobile navigation, and when I turn on my navigation, I'm going to want it to fill up the whole screen. It's going to take over the screen when somebody opens up the navigation. Good, good, good. I think that's it for there. We just have to obviously style what everything looks like inside there now. So I'd mentioned that I want my to use Flexbox as much as possible. So I'm going to style my navigation as well with Flexbox. So my UL that's inside of main nav will be a display flex, and they're all going to go next to each other like that. So there's a few different things I could do here. Let's just change the flex direction, I guess. It would probably be the easiest. Flex direction, I want it to be a column. Yes, there we go. So flex direction by default is row, meaning that they're going to go this way across. I don't want them to be a row. I want them to be a column. So I'm going to column, and then they're going to go in that direction. And then let's do a text align center, because that's going to look a little bit nicer. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to put an equal amount of space between these. I don't want them all stuck here. I want them all equally spaced out. So with that, I should be able to do a justify content space around. And that should put an equal amount of space between them all. But of course it didn't. Why not? Let's go take a look. Oops, wrong place. It's in my header. My nav. Oh, my list. My nav is taking up the whole screen, but my on-styled list is not. We'll just give this the height as well. Height 100 viewport height. There we go. And now we can see that they're all equally spaced out. And if this changes, the whole thing changes there. Now, if you're not familiar with Flexbox, one thing I'd really recommend is that you use, they call them Flexbox playgrounds and stuff. So this is one that I found, and I'm going to put the link in the description below. I really like this one. It lets you add different flex items. So say you want, I can add in flex items. I can choose, is it an inline flex or a flex? Flex direction I can play around with. So in this case, we're doing a column. This doesn't really change anything right now. Justify content. So this is what I was playing around with. So you can see, you can just click through them all and see what the differences are going to be. So when you're looking for something, there's lots of different properties to choose from when you're using Flexbox. So I really, playing around with these can really, really help. There's also the flex item properties. So the flex grow and flex shrink, which we can use to play around a little bit. We're probably going to dive into this a little bit after. To give you a better idea of what's happening. So there we go. They're all equally spaced. I could probably get rid of this height, actually. As long as my UL has the right height. Yeah. This is growing to, this is matching, automatically matching, so I don't need that 100 viewport height on that. I only need it on my UL. My LIs, I'm going to need a few properties. So let's come in here and say my LI. So my main nav LI has a, let's just give it a background because I'm curious, background of light blue. Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to look like. So that's okay for now. I want these to fill up the whole space available to them. I don't want them to be really narrow with this really big space in between. I actually want them filling up that whole space, which would give us a nice big area to be able to click on. So with our flex stuff, there's more stuff in here we can do. So I'm going to give this a flex. The flex is a shorthand property. It includes the flex grow, the flex shrink, flex grow, flex shrink properties, and the flex basis properties. So they're all included in here. Flex grow, flex shrink, flex basis. So what I'm going to do is I want my grow, my shrink to be 1, and the flex basis to be auto. So it's just going to be a flex 1, 1, auto. And that should make it fill up the whole space. There we go. So if I look here, I can see my list items are all taking up the full amount of space. The only problem now is the A inside is aligned to the top. So that's good. Except I don't want the A aligned to the top. I want the A aligned to the middle. One thing we'll add onto here, just so we can see really the whole space, and I'm going to change the colors of all of this. Let's add in my border bottom, 1 pixel solid, and I'm going to go with darken. No, I'm not even going to go with a darken. I'm just going to go with RGBA of black 0, 0, 0, whoops, 0, and then like 0.25 or something. That should give us like a light gray line. Or it'll be light blue because we're on blue, darker blue line, maybe even 15. I want a subtle. Anyway, once I get my colors, I might play with that a little bit, but just creating a subtle line in between them all. Now I can actually take off my light blue. There we go. So we can see the separation between them, and I want this to be moved down and put in the middle. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to justify the content. I want to do a justify content center. No. I want to do an align items center. Except that's not going to work right now. I'm trying to use flex properties. Now, my UL is set to flex, so these are flexing. And I can use all of the different flex properties on my LI, you know, this flex thing here. But now I want my A to be able to do stuff on it. So I actually have to do a display flex on this as well. So display flex, I don't need my center align anymore. So now these A's inside are being affected by the display flex, I can now use my align items and do a center. And that will vertically align them. And we all know vertical alignment in CSS is a pain in the ass, but Flexbox has saved that. Or not saved it, but made it much easier. And now I need it centered in the middle. So I can do that's where I want the justify content center, which will pop it right in the middle. Awesome. That looks really good. I'm happy with that. The last thing I need to do now is style my actual links. And the nice thing with this is I don't have to worry about, before I style my links, just to say I don't have to worry about, you know, my padding on the top and bottom. And if I created more list items, it would automatically adjust to it. So say I'd originally done something like where I'm saying that there's padding on the top and bottom, and then I add a new thing, I'd probably have to come in and adjust all my numbers, whether it was a percentage or however else I was doing it. Now I don't have to. Just to show you, if I come and add in, just copy that and paste it in there. It just automatically adjusts and it works. And let's paste another one in there. And it just works. Flexbox is awesome. And it's really widely supported now. It's not perfect, obviously, but it has pretty wide support now. So that's great. Now I just want to style my links. So that's the easy part. So my links are my A. There we go. So what I want to do, my color, let's try text inverse and see if we can read it. That's okay. Text decoration of none. That's good. I think I'm just going to make my font size a bit bigger for this as well, but I'm going to do that just on the nav. Font size 1.2 rem. Cool. The reason I'm putting it on my main nav and not on the links is I'm just thinking maybe for whatever reason at one point in the navigation there's some regular text and not link text. Don't know why that would happen, but just in case it happens, all of my text inside of here will be the same size. So I'm not being overly specific and limiting it to something that's inside of here. I'm just saying any text that happens to get thrown in the main nav should be that font size. And that's it for this video, guys. The menu is done, and you should see a card on the side now to get to part 2 of building out this navigation menu, where we're going to be looking at building the hamburger menu and using some jQuery to animate it moving in and out. So I'll see you guys over there.